Natural law. Its purpose is to make sin inexcusable. It remains for us to speak of the third element of spiritual wisdom, namely knowledge of the rule for a well-ordered life, knowledge, that is, of what constitutes true righteousness of works. Now here, it would appear that the human mind enjoys a degree of competence which it does not have in the areas already discussed. For the Apostle affirms that the people who have no law are a law to themselves, and reveal that the works of the law are written on their hearts, since their conscience bears witness and their thoughts either accuse or vindicate them before God who judges what they do. Now if the Gentiles have by nature God's righteousness imprinted on their minds, we cannot call them wholly blind in their understanding of how life is to be lived. People, to be sure, are generally aware that the natural law to which the Apostle refers provides man with adequate guidance in the matter of right living. However, we must ask for what purpose the knowledge of the law was given to men. Only then may we judge how far it can take us toward the goal of reason and truth. This we may discover from what Paul says if we examine the course of his argument in the passage quoted. A little while before, he had written that those who have sinned under the law will be judged by the law, and those who have sinned without the law will perish without the law. In case we think this last idea unreasonable, that poor ignorant folk deprived of the light of truth should immediately perish, Paul adds that their conscience is able to serve them as law, and therefore is enough rightly to condemn them. Thus, the purpose of natural law is to make man inexcusable. Accordingly, we may properly define natural law as follows. It is an operation of conscience by which it is able to tell good from bad with sufficient clarity that man cannot plead ignorance as an excuse, being rebuked by his own testimony. Men, however, are so inclined to self-flattery that they always want, as far as possible, to dissuade the mind from recognizing their sin. This, I think, was what led Plato to maintain that we do not sin except through ignorance. That might be an apt saying of his, if man, in his hypocrisy, could hide his faults, so that conscience was able to escape the judgment of God. But since the sinner, his heart failing to discern good from bad, is each time forcibly brought back to the fact of sin, and cannot close his eyes without sometimes having, however reluctantly, to open them, it is wrong to say that he sins through ignorance.